Welcome to the first lesson within the Kitchen Essentials module. The first lesson is all about the equipment that I use within my kitchen. So I'm going to unpack my kitchen and go through each piece of equipment with you. The first, which I found was essential when dealing with lots of vegetables, is a decent set of knives that are also sharp. The second is quite simply a decent chopping board that's got a good solid surface for chopping all your veggies. What I've also found extremely useful is just a decent sized sieve, and for me that's perfect, and a big colander, because once I'm washing lots of vegetables and lots of nuts and doing things in bulk, I find a larger piece of equipment a lot easier and quicker to use. It's all about time efficiency, and that's what I'm about. Some good, decent sized big bowls for soaking and cleaning and washing are really handy too. Now for the first electrical piece of equipment, which is a Nutribullet. A lot of us have a Nutribullet or an equivalent of a Nutribullet, and it's a really quick, easy, handy piece of equipment to use for making smoothies, for making protein shakes, for making nut milks if you're in a busy rush. So again, a really handy, essential piece of equipment to have in the kitchen. The next electrical piece of equipment is a blender. Now, the Nutribullet is also a blender, so you can get away with just using that. It depends how many of you are there. With my family, there's a few more of us, so I needed a bigger blender, and because I like nice, shiny things, I went and spent a bit more money and got the BlendTech blender that not only has the wild size jug, but it also has, for smaller quantities like salad dressings and things like that and sauces, it's got a handy little adaptation, which is really good for those types of things. And a lot of us have heard about the craze with juicing, Jason Vale juicing, and going on juice detoxes and juice fasts, and we all have a mad craze for a period of time where we go out and buy a juicer and start juicing. In the juicing module, I'll go into more detail about what type of juicer, what are the best juicers, but a really handy piece of equipment is to get a good cold press slow juicer, which this one is. And to accompany that, because I'm juicing and having between 1 and 2 litres of juice a day, some handy bottles that can go in the fridge to store the juices ready for you to have them during the day or even the next day. Those first piece of equipment I've already introduced you to, you've probably already got a similar or equivalent in your kitchen already. These next 3 pieces of equipment is more to do with the living foods and the raw foods. So in Grow Zone 1, or what I called Grow Zone 1, is to have a couple of handy sprout jars. You can sprout in bowls in cupboards, but I tend to find sprouting jars really a lot quicker and a lot simpler to use. So this is one of my favorites so far, which is the Easy Sprout Sprouters. You've got an equivalent glass type sprouting jar here, which I'll go into more detail in the Living Foods module. You've got what is called the Fresh Life FL3000 sprouter. It grows a lot of really fresh living foods, which I'll go into in more detail in the next module. And the final piece of equipment, which I want to introduce you to, is the dehydrator. And that's just my equivalent of an oven that we now use. And that's it for the kitchen essentials and the equipment that I've now got in my kitchen.